Hi everyone, I have been asked to do a page from Hanna Karlzon's Tales from the Witch's Cottage, and this was the page that was picked. Now I was asked to do this page because the person said they didn't know how to colour these sort of dribbly candles. Now I can completely understand that. It is a bit of an interesting concept, shall we say. And she had asked for them all to be different colours, which is great because it'll make it really interesting, I think. And also we've got the whole flame going on and different things like that. So there's a lot of aspects, and the candle holder as well. There's lots of different aspects to cover in this video. I am going to start though by doing the flame and the wick because I want to do them the same on every candle. And then we'll work on the different candles in different colours and things like that. So let's come in a little closer. I'm going to be using my Black Widow's pencils because I find they are, they go down well in this book. They're thin enough for the details that we need, and we have a nice range of colours as far as I'm concerned with regards to what we need to do. Let's start with the wick. Now wicks are black. Always, because they are burnt. But what I am going to do is try to do something a little bit slightly interesting with them if it will show up. It might not, but I'm going to have a go. Why not? So I'm going to use this coal colour. Now this is a really dark grey. It's almost black, but not quite. And I'm going to put it on each of the wicks. I'm not going to press mega hard because I want to go over them after, and you'll see when I get to the next step. So we're going to do them all the same. Now what we are going to do is do all the candles different colours, and I may do all the candle holders differently as well, but I don't know how to do wicks and flames differently. I think I'm going to do them all the same way, so those will be the same. I think wicks and flames, they do usually look the same. Now because we're coming up to Halloween, this is a good book to be using. Now obviously candles aren't necessarily Halloweeny, but it's a good start, isn't it, to sort of Halloween colour. Now I'm going to use a black. Now I'm using the Midnight. There is a Black Widow in this set and a Midnight. To me they're very similar, but this one seems slightly more intense, which is what I want. Now I am going to draw the tiniest little dots all over our wick with this black pencil. Now you could use a black pen if you want to. I just find if I mix up pen and pencil, sometimes the intensity of the pen sort of takes over the picture. So I want a lot of dark circle, so it's almost completely covered. If you look at a wick, it is almost covered with little dots of ash type substance, which is what I'm trying to emulate. And if you can't be bothered, just colour it black. I mean, this is just a fussy detail which you might not even like anyway, you know, it's just something that I'm trying out really. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze, maybe there's a sneeze there. Is it gonna come? We'll find out in a minute. Anyway, so yeah, I've got a little pile of Halloweeny type pages that I want to do and try and squeeze in before Johanna's book comes out, when I'll be doing pages from her book. But I spotted in her book there were 3 images I felt that looked a little bit Halloweeny. She only sort of, when she did her flip through, identified one of them, but I felt there were 3 that had potential, but I can't remember now, and I'm not going to look at a flip through now until I get my copy, because I want it to sort of be a bit of a surprise, and it isn't long to wait. I mean, recording this today, it's the 1st of October. By the time this goes out, it'll be, I think, at the sort of 15th, 14th, something like that. I'm not sure, to be honest. So time's getting on. It's getting very exciting. Now, flame. I'm going to start with the red Let me have a look. The Dragon Breath is always quite a good one, I think, to start with. It's an orangey red. Where is it? There it is. I can't get it out. There we go. So here it is, Dragon Breath. Now I have got all of the Black Widow pencils, so I'm lucky, very lucky. And that means that I have the whole lot to choose from. If you don't, then you may want to adapt, or you can use one of my comparison charts to use a different set of pencils. I'm going to put a bit of red there as well, I think, instead. Oh, it's completely up to you, obviously. Or you just might want to use the nearest colour. Some people are very good at choosing an equivalent colour. Some people can do it but aren't confident, and some people just would rather not do it or can't do it, and that's all fine. We're all at different levels of colouring, or we all have different areas that we're good at and perhaps not so good at, so you know, it just depends on you. I'm going to grab the pumpkin next. It seems very good to use a pumpkin on a slightly Halloween-y page, and then extend this. I'm going to actually go over the red and then just extend it down a bit like that, and I'm going to put a darker bit at the top of here and here. So there are those comparison charts. Now they are all on my Ko-fi. In my Ko-fi shop, you can visit it using the link in the video description, or if you can't find the chart you want, if there's something specific you're looking for, there is a lot on there. It's not easy to search. I've tried to sort of put it in a order and categorize it, but you're limited on how many categories you can make. It's not that easy always to look through. So if there's a chart you want, you can't find it, or you just aren't up to looking, sometimes it's hard, we're not up for it, or it just doesn't suit our way of thinking, let me know and I can just send you the link. It's very easy for me because I have access to it in a different way to you. The same as YouTube. If there's a video you want and you can't find it, or you want to know if I've done one, ask me, because I can search much more easily, particularly in YouTube, because I know what I would have called videos and what to search for, whereas you won't necessarily know that. You know, I might have called it a name that you wouldn't have called it. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully you know what I mean. I'm now going to go for a slightly lighter orange, the serpent. There it is. So yeah, anything you need, ask. I'm very, very happy to help out. That is what my whole aim is, to be helpful anyway. That's what this channel's all about. So hopefully I can help. So again, I'm going over all of what I've done already and just extending it down through the area. Here I think I'll complete that bit. Oh, it's a big click then in the wall. It's very weird. This house is so noisy. It's actually stopped raining now, which is nice. Both my boys are going out. One of them's leaving in about an hour. The other one is leaving in 2 hours time, I think. But I was helping them with a few bits and pieces, and now I've thought I'm just going to get on with some recording. One of them had some sort of form to fill out. Oh, forms. But is it all men that don't like forms, or just my men? They hate them. My husband hates them. My sons say, I like filling in forms. So I don't mind helping them at all. You know, I love doing like questionnaires and things like that. They absolutely loathe it. Why? What's that all about? Sorry, I've just got to blow my nose. You can catch up a bit with your... if I'm going too fast. So anyway, they hate them. So I was helping. Now I want a sort of goldeny yellow. I'm going to go for the Aztec gold. I really like it. Why not? It's lovely and vibrant. Here it is. And again, I'm going to go over everything. I feel it just helps to smush it all together, because I often miss little gaps when I'm colouring. If I go over the areas, it gives me more chance of hitting them, if you understand what I mean. And it with this lovely bright colour, it just makes everything look a little bit brighter and you know, brighter and more vibrant, I suppose. So that's good. Oh, I've got a pain in my hand today. It's my arm's been hurting for the last few days, but luckily my left arm. It's just been a bit of a weird ache. I haven't been working out what it is, and now it's gone down into my hand. My sister suggested it might be because the weather's colder, but I don't know. It feels like, you know when you get really cold in your hands, like if you've been out in the snow and you come back in and they sort of feel stiff and achy, it feels like that. So I don't know what it is, but whether it's a side effect of my meds, which I've now only been taking them for about 5 days. Apparently you're supposed to give it at least 3 weeks to see whether, because some of the side effects will disappear, but it could not be that at all. It could just be, it could be that it's cooler weather, you know. Maybe I need to get my wrist warmers out. Now, a final, still quite vibrant, but yes, less orangey yellow. I think I'm going to go for the banana. Could I find it? There it is. Banana. It's a great colour, a great name, great colour name. And again, over everything. I'm not spending as long going over everything as I was initially. Apart from, you know, this bottom part where we're just finishing off. Put a bit more there. There we go. Now we have this sort of surround here of brightness. Now I can't decide whether to put a bit of pencil in there or whether to use pastels and sort of do a shiny background. I think I will do it in pencil because it's not a big area. I was thinking I could do this in pencil, then this I could do in gold pen or something, and then maybe these dots in gold. Or are they magic? Are they the same colour as the candle? Don't know. I'm sort of developing ideas as I colour, which is how my mind works, really. I don't tend to sit here, have a plan first. If I sat here and tried to plan it out first, I just would never get started. I just like to get started. Right, there are the candle flames. Now, as I say, this area, now I'm going to do it in a slightly duller yellow than the flame. I feel the flame should be what's standing out. That's how I approach it anyway. So I'm having a look, and I think the mellow yellow or the sunburst. Let's go for the mellow yellow. Oh, I think the mellow yellow is a little bit fluorescent. I've changed my mind. I'm going for the sunburst. This is one of the skin tones, actually. And here we go, just colouring up to that line in here. So we've still got a bright colour, but it's just a little bit different to the flame itself. And you could do a pastel if you wanted, but because it's a small area and these black widows go on quite well, I feel that we can just cope with this. You know, it's not too big an area. I know I'm really fast at colouring, so that helps me. If you feel like you can't cope with colouring this big an area, go ahead, do it in a pastel. If you've got one. Or you could always do it in a yellow gel pen, Posca pen, or you could do this bit in gold if you want. Or glittery, a sort of yellow glitter, something like that. You know, we can use our imaginations. It doesn't have to look realistic. It's never it's never going to look realistic. With me, I don't do realism really. But a lot of the colouring books that I colour aren't drawn in a realistic way. Some of them are, most of them aren't, which means that it's very difficult to get it to look realistic anyway. So what my aim is always to make it recognisable rather than realistic. There's a huge difference. Because a candle would never have this sort of shine like this. Lines don't exist very much. I mean, only if you have that sort of vision problem. I get it sometimes. I think it's astigmatism, where you see the lines coming out of light. but most people don't see them. Or I think there's a way to adjust for it in your glasses prescription. Actually, I was going to go and ask. I might do that today, because my son's going to start driving soon. He says he can't drive at night because of his astigmatism, but I think there might be a way to protect against that. Now, how long have we been? Ooh, 15 minutes. Let's start this candle. Now, all different colours. I want to start with a red one. Why not? Like red candles. Now, let's have a little look. I'm just going to grab this pencil. So we can see these dribble bits going down the outside, but we can also see this bit here is the candle. This bit is the candle, as is this bit, but this bit is the dribbly bit. That bit could be a bit of the candle, and that bit. So what I like to try and do is to establish what's what, because I feel that the actual candle itself could be a little bit darker than these dribbly bits, which are nearer the outside, nearer the flame, that sort of thing. So this bit of candle we're going to do in a slightly darker tone of red, and then these in a slightly lighter tone, just to show the difference between them, really. So I need to choose some reds. I'm just going to grab my swatch sheet so I can choose. Let's have a look. These dark ones are quite pink. I think I'm going to use... no, it's not. I think I might use the brown bug to darken up, but not on its own, because it's a little bit, it's not quite the colour I want. So what I'm going to do is use the brown bug to darken some areas, and then use the same shade of red on all of the candle. We'll try that. So we'll use the blood red, like that one. Right. So I'm just going to sharpen the brown bug. Let's put it in the wrong hole of my sharpener. I've got two holes, look. This one's got no blade in. It's good to... I never use this big hole, so when this one goes blunt, take the one out of there, swap them over. Be careful though, I've cut myself before. Brown bug. Use a little magnetic screwdriver, and then really lightly with the brown bug here. Use a little magnetic screwdriver, and then you never have to handle the blade. Pick it up with the screwdriver. I think that's a bit of the candle, but I'm not sure. That's definitely a dribbly bit. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? Is that a candle, or I can make that candle? So now I want to slightly, like the edge I think might be darker. If you think about the shape of a candle, imagine this hasn't got any dribbles on. It's like this, it's a long thin, and it's going to be round, so there's going to be shadow on each side. Look at the I can't really show you with that, this one. So look at this one, look at the way it catches the light. If I tip it up, you can see it's much darker on the edges, and here it catches the light, and that helps us see that it's rounded. So I want to do the same with our candle, make it a little bit darker on the edges here, like here, so that we can see there's a rounded candle somewhere underneath there. So making that darker, don't fully fill that, oh, we forgot that bit. Don't make it too dark, because we're going to put the other colour on top, remember. You can sort of fade it towards the middle. You can do the same with this one, make it a little bit darker on this side and this side. This one's much nearer the middle. I'm trying to imagine where the edge of our candle is. This bit would be right on the edge. So I'll fade that in a bit, maybe a bit there. Okay, and then we're going to get our blood red involved, and we're going to put it on top. So here, just on top, and hopefully you can still see this bit is darker. I can't see very well. Yeah, I'm going to put some back on top in a minute, just to emphasize those darker bits. I'm also going to press a bit harder, or layer up a bit more, because I want these bits to be the most intense compared to the dribbly bits. So just grabbing back, brown bug again, and just a bit more there, a little bit more there, and a bit more there. Now we're going to do want this a bit sharper, so I'm just going to sharpen. So we're back to our blood red pencil. We're going to do each of these. Let's come into the middle and come a bit closer so you can see. It's a little bit. Now, I tend to treat each of these separately, and what I tend to do is go around the edge like that in a good few layers, and then do less layers towards the middle so we've got a little bit of shine like that. And I'm going to do that with all of them, and then I'm going to have a look and see whether I think it makes sense. Okay, because I'm not layering up hugely, I've got plenty of tooth left in my paper, so if I feel it needs a different colour, an extra layer or whatever, I can add to it, or I can just leave it. It's I've got that flexibility at the moment. There we go. Now, it's quite tricky, isn't it, doing something like this, but if you have if you look at a photograph, that can be quite useful. They can give you information about, you know, like the flame, for example. Is it red at the top or the bottom? I always used to put them red at the bottom, but I think they tend to be red at the top. So I used to get them wrong, but I don't know if I've done it right or wrong this time, but you know. And the same as this sort of dribbly candle, there's probably photographs you can have a look at if you want to sort of think about how it might look. I'm trying to make it a little bit lighter in the middle without leaving any white. It's not playing very well there. So it's just about layering up on the edges. You can see how the bits of candle are a little bit darker, so they're hopefully going to sit back, look like they're in the shadow, which is the idea, hopefully. Now you can see that there are little black lines here. Now these are where Hannah thinks that we need to think about shine, I think. I get a little bit annoyed that it's marked in black. I know it's the only way they can do it, because I've got to cover it with a white pen, and covering black with white is quite difficult. You have to do just 2 or 3 layers, whereas if they hadn't put anything down at all and I just did it myself, then I wouldn't need so many layers of white pen. But it is a guide to help us, so sort of pros and cons really, just depends. Yeah, I've got a little pile of books beside me to do some Halloween colouring. I'm not a Halloweeny person, you know this if you watch my videos. It's not something I really celebrate or think about very much, but I know a lot of you do, and I have got some really nice cutesy pictures. One of them, yeah, they're Halloween, but they're just cute and friendly, which I like. I just get too scared. I'm going to be honest with you, scared. And so when I was little, I used to worry that there were witches flying around and things like that. I used to get so petrified, and that's just sort of stayed with me, that fear. And although I know it's a nonsense, it just, you know, plays on my mind, so I just don't think about it much. But cutesy pictures I'm all up for, you know. But scary horror, no thank you. Some people like it. If you like it, I know Colour with Claire loves the sort of beauty of horror type colouring books and things like that. So if you like that sort of thing, I think she shares them on Facebook more than Instagram. She does some a lot of spooky horror type stuff. So if you like that, then go and have a look at hers, because I'm sure it would be inspirational for you, but it's just not my thing. But we're all different, aren't we? Interestingly, someone commented on one of my videos the other day saying they don't like colouring flowers and leaves. so they aren't a big fan of Johanna Basford, and that's absolutely fair enough. You know, we all have different different ways and tastes and things like that. So I'm just doing the same thing for every little dribble. So basically tracing around the edge and then putting another layer around, so that's our sort of most intense part, and then doing a bit less as I come towards the centre. Like that, less and less, and then just a little smudge in the centre so it looks a bit shiny and rounded. It helps give it a bit of shape, because if you think about those dribbles, they're rounded, they're not flat. Helps. There's a lot of noise from my boiler. I wonder if my heating's come on. I can't remember what time it's set to be on today, to be honest. Anyway, there's that one. So we're nearly there with this one. It's not quite our smallest, but it's one of the smaller ones. I like this red though. We'll probably do, I'm going to try and do what I would consider to be sort of Halloween-y colours, but you may not agree. A red, obviously sort of blood, vampire-y, capes, vampire capes, or are they black? I can't remember. I don't know, as I said, don't know. But I'm going to do a purple. I associate purple with Halloween, but I don't know whether everybody does. There we go, that one is done. I'm just having a look to see whether I think I need any darker areas. Now, I could put some extra shadow, see, in here, in between these and here, but I worry that if I do that, you won't, this candle bits that are showing through that are only very slightly darker will just vanish. So I'm actually quite happy with it like this. I realise you just can't see all of it. There we go. So, and I'm not going to put any white on yet. I might not put any white on at all, but I'm definitely not yet, because I'll only smudge it. Now I'm going to do this little candle as well before I finish today. Maybe a bit more actually, because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fit all my videos in, but because I've got plans. Let's do the little one now, purple, for this one. Now we have quite an interesting selection of purples. I want to use the really dark, intense purple. I'm going to start with space. Here, my space is very small. Here it is. And we're going to use the space for the candle. So we need to try and identify where that candle is. It's very hidden on this one. This is a bit of a, see this bit here? That must be a dribbly bit, because we can't see the candle frame through it, but it's not the candle because it's too low. So I'm thinking maybe this bit is a candle, bit of the candle. Maybe this bit. And here. And here. Now, we also, if you look here, we have, you can see the back where it's melting in. So I'm going to put a little bit of this dark colour at the bottom of here and just fade it up a tad, like that. And then I'm going to add my other colour on top, just to create a little bit of a shadow. And I think I'm going to go to the amethyst for the rest. Here is our amethyst. It's a much paler shade of the same purple colour. So we'll start here. No, we won't. We'll start by sharpening. And we're going to do exactly the same. So over the top of that. So we're going to start with this little one, and like the other candle, around the edge, and then just reduce towards the centre like that, and just work through all of these little bits. I find it's quite nice to start with a smaller one, just to get yourself going, really. I'm going to do this one in 2 halves because we've got that narrow bit. Excuse me. Okay. And around this bit. My cup of coffee is calling me. I should have brought it in. Next door. Left it next door. It's because I wanted to go through and check up on what my boy was doing. He's reading, I think, trying to start an assignment. He isn't sure when it's due. He needs to ask, actually. Because the due date is last year. So, so it says it's like 300 plus days late. So we're assuming that needs updating. But it did say October next. Is that a bit of candle? Yeah, but then I've done that. I'm gonna ignore it for a minute and give it a bit of thought. Yeah, so he needs to find out when it's due, really. I'm hoping it's not changed since last year, you know, because the due date hasn't been updated. Hopefully you're not gonna, you know, change the assignment. Don't think they normally do. So I'm thinking maybe I've done that wrong, and that's the dribbly bit, but I just don't know. I'm going to do this in this colour. I can hear a noise outside. I'm wondering what it is. I'm so nosy. Is it just me that's really, really nosy? Is it a woman thing? My boys just aren't nosy. My husband sometimes is, though, to be fair. But my boys couldn't care less. I'm like, you see him by the window. There's a car. Who is it? What's that noise? They're like, I don't care, Mum. I don't care. But tell me who it is. I don't care. Or they'll look at it and go, I don't know. I'm like, well, are they going to a particular house? Are they delivering a parcel? Who is it? What are they doing? I don't know. It's like, oh my goodness. So anyway, we'll see. I would like to find out. Let me know if you're nosy and if you're female or male, if you think it's a male or female trait. I was so grumpy yesterday. I don't know whether it's a side effect of the meds. I mean, I have grumpy days anyway, don't we all? But I had no patience. Like, my sister was saying, oh, this and this. And I was like, well, just do that and sort it out. I was like, oh. And then my husband was like, this at work have contacted me and it's my day off. How don't they know? I was like, well, can't you tell them? Send them an out of office. Do this, that. He's like, it's all right. It's like, I was just having a moan. I didn't want a solution. And I'm going to fix it anyway. I'm going to reply. So, okay. Oh, I don't know why I was like that. Felt a bit better later in the day, to be honest. So I don't know whether, I don't know, maybe I was hungry. Now this one, I'm going to want to do in like a greeny, like a bluey green. So we have got, I'm going to use the wizard and the turquoise, I think. Just got to find them. Is that the wizard? No. Oh, I give you a bit of time to find them as well if I can't find them, won't it? There we go. Wizard and turquoise. So the wizard being our dark one, this is what we're going to use for the candle itself. And we've got to try and find it again. So we can do this bit here at the top, just like we did on the other one. Just checking that it's all in shot. So put a little dark area here and then reduce it upwards. And the same here, like that and we'll finish that off with our turquoise. But now we need to identify bits of candle. So we've got, I'm thinking here. Now I'm going to fill them in lightly at the minute. In the other one I didn't, like in the red one I tried to make the edge a bit darker, but in this one I didn't because it went really near the edge. This bit. Now you might disagree with me on which bits you think are candle. That's fine. Do what you think is right. See, that could be a dribble going to there, but and now is that a space? No. We'll just fill that one in. I'll do that one too. There we go. So I'm going to make the edge of this one a bit darker, and this one. Now on the red one I went over the top of the colour I did initially, and on the purple one I didn't. I think they both look okay. I did it with the red one more so because the colours were quite different to each other. So, but here I'm not sure, so I'm not going to go over them initially. I'm going to see how it looks. I felt with the purple one it worked quite well without doing that. So here's our turquoise. So my first bit is here. I'm going to go actually over that dark bit and then just take it up to the tip. Still trying to fade a little bit as I go. There we go. I'm going to sharpen this bit, I think. There we go. Okay, and now let's do the same thing with all of these. Oh dear, hold on a minute. I'm going to stop the camera, sharpen this pencil in my electric sharpener, go and get my coffee and then come back. Right, that's better. Look at that nice sharp pencil. Let's hope, I'll probably end up snapping it. But this is the turquoise. I think I may have forgotten to say. And we're going to go around the edge. It's actually a bit too sharp, but because I use the electric sharpener, I think you do get a choice as to how sharp it goes, but anyway, I haven't fiddled with it. It's usually really good being this sharp. It will soon wear down a bit. It has already. There we go. Yeah, I was just checking on my son as well, make sure he's getting ready. Going to get ready for uni soon. Which class he's got? I said, you need to ask your tutor when your assignment's due in because the date was wrong. And he said, oh, okay, I will. When is it due? Which one is it? And he refreshed his page that he happened to have open on his laptop because he was doing the work for that assignment. He says, oh, it's just updated. It's the 20th of December. So, oh, so I thought we had one due in October. It's actually December. But if he can, he said it's still the earliest one. And also, you know, if he can get started on all of them, it's good. I always used to do that, get started on everything, do a lot of the work early, and then there would be a class where they would tell you about the assignment and I would be able to then just check I was on the right sort of path, as it were, and rather than starting writing it then. I'm just not the sort of person who can leave something to the last minute and then write it. I mean, I could do it, but my brain won't let me. My brain's there going, it needs doing, niggle, niggle, nag, nag, you know, I nag. And that's why I think I complete so many colouring pages, and when I'm colouring I just get stuck in, because my brain doesn't work like that. I don't do procrastinating very much. A little bit, but not, you know, not much. So I just get on. That's, you know, that's just my way. I'm still debating here. That could have been a bit of candle, but it's not. Whether I should do the candle holders in different colours or the same colour. Because they are different. None of them are the same. This end one here has got a handle on it, for example, like for carrying, whereas the others don't. I'd always thought that carrying it, grasping it around this bit, just gripping it like that, would be far more sensible than using a handle in a way, because you wouldn't tip it so much, because surely the wax would drip all over your hand. I don't know. Don't use candles very much. I've got one in here actually, and it's scented, and it's really nice because the smell, just, I don't light it, I just enjoy the perfume. I use it like a air freshener because it stinks in here. It smells like old musty things. So yeah, it's nice to, yes, I could open the window. I can't reach the window because this desk that I'm using is in front of the window, and I'm not tall enough to reach over it and open the window, so I can't open the window. So I do have the door open a lot, but it's just the stuff in here. Anyway, it is what it is. One day I'll have a little craft room in my dreams, and all my stuff organised nicely, etc. But my husband was like, oh, just move our one son's desk, because he often sits in his bedroom, and put your stuff, use that. I was like, no, because he uses that for his study. He's got two desks, one in his room that he uses for playing, but he's got a desk downstairs that he uses for his study. He's lucky he's got the big bedroom, so he's got room for everything. But his brother seems okay with it. He just hasn't got room in his bedroom for more. But he doesn't seem to mind. He does go up and sit in his bedroom sometimes, but he's got his phone he uses up there. So I don't know. I'll talk to him one day about it, see if he's okay with it, but I can't magic up space. It's tricky. You know, when one or two of them move out, there'll be more space, but I want to keep spare bedrooms really, because, you know, children often move in and out, you know, especially these days with housing being so expensive and things like that. You know, don't want them to think that, you know, once they're gone, going to take over their bedroom and that's it, bye. You know, I think that's horrible. So we'll see. I did talk to my husband about moving. He absolutely loves it here. We've been in this house since 2001, and you know, he doesn't want to move. We've made it bigger, we've made it our own. You know, we've extended into various bits, into the attic, into the garage, to give ourselves extra room as our family's grown. But I think sometimes it always feels like you just always need more room. I don't know. It's hard to imagine having a house so big that you didn't wish you had more room. But I guess I've never been in a house that big. You know, I grew up in a 3-bedroom house, 1 bathroom, and 4 of us. So me and my sister had separate rooms, and actually my dad worked from home for a bit, and my room was converted into an office, but he found that too difficult because I used to talk too much, distracted him. Can you imagine me talking too much? Now, the wizard bits are too pale that I did. Now, they just don't stand out enough for my liking, so I'm just going to go back to them. Yes, so I used to talk too much for his liking, so it got changed back. And I don't know where he ended up working. I think he... I'm not sure, to be honest. There we go. Yeah, there's that one. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the rest for another video. I think we've done a fair bit. I really only wanted to make this a 2 video series. I think I can probably fit it in to another one. If it's long, it's long. Just because I'm thinking about how much time I've got to fit it in before the planner. And I've got another one I want to do before Jana's book comes out. So there's all sorts going on in my head, all sorts of planning. It's exciting. But there we go. We've made a good start on this one, and I'm liking it. But I've got no idea what colour to do this candle here. I could ask you to send me ideas, but they won't arrive in time because I'm going to be recording this afternoon, and it's only the 1st of October. I'll have a think. I've got to get my son out the door, and then I'll have a think about it while I'm doing that. But thank you for watching today. I hope you can join me tomorrow. Please do like, subscribe and comment, and yeah, have a super day and happy colouring.